Hey guys, what's up? Saturday night. Hope you guys are all having a good weekend. I know you just talked to me yesterday and you're like, why am I back already? Well, I decided I was going to do something. I was going to hold off till next week, but I'm going to do it today instead. First of all, let's get this night going. Jägermeister. Cheers. Salut. Damn, that's good. Bottle's almost gone. Good thing I've got like 3 more. All right. So, why am I here? Well, not yesterday, but last week, I did my episode that I called Perfect Albums. And I talked about Paranoid and Dark Side of the Moon and Rock and Roll Over, and most of you guys out there commenting how, great list, agree, disagree, or whatever. But one jackass has got to come on, some guy out there with no content, come on, Kiss's music for 12-year-olds. And I took that personal. Now, I know I shouldn't take it personal. I know it's just trolls on the internet, and I get that. And every time I talk about Kiss, I get trolls on the internet. Other than the time I did the solo albums, when I ranked the 478 solo albums as my, in my favorite order, and that's my biggest show I've ever done. It had like 2,000 views. No other episode I've ever done has come anywhere close to that. So I thought, just for that one guy who thinks Kiss is music for 12-year-olds, I'm going to act like a 12-year-old, and we're going to talk about Kiss today. Put on my Kiss shirt. Here we go. I'm going to show you Kiss albums that I have, what I'm calling Kiss version 1. The original 4, the first albums from 74 all the way up to 78, those first 4 years of Kiss, the heyday, the prime of the band, and I just thought I would share what I have. So we're going to start off. Self-titled album, 1974. Kiss Kiss. Makeup slightly different. First album to come out. Did not sell well when it first came out, honestly. Track listing on here. Strutter. Nothing to Lose. Firehouse. Cold Gin. Let Me Know. Side 2 has Kissin' Time. Deuce. The Love Theme from Kiss. Let's see, where I just kind of lost track there. 100,000 Years and Black Diamond. There's the back of it there. This album's almost perfect. It's got great songs on there. They played all the way up to the end of their career. Other than the Love Theme from Kiss and Kissin' Time, which was added later, so you can tell this is not an OG first pressing of this album because it has Kissin' Time on it. That was added later. So, I have it in her sleeve, but I don't know if it's the one that came with the record because it says Casablanca Record and Filmworks. I don't think they were that then. I found a bunch of these, and, Casablanca is the studio, is the record company. There's the Casablanca logo on there. That's a copy. All of these are, like original presses or, maybe not first pressing like this one is, but they're all from, the year. This is a 74 press. I did not pick these up until I was in high school, so I would have been in the 80s when I got all of these records. They had not been repressed, so all of these are going to be that, essentially. So, oh, they were at my Jaeger bottle. Hang on. Still in one piece. Let me put that back there. All right. Maybe that was the gods telling me to take another shot. All right, fine. We'll listen to the gods. We'll take another shot. I'll just do a halfie this time. Cheers. All right. Hotter Than Hell, 1974. They put this out like 6 months later. This is a different sound, kind of, than the earlier stuff. This is a lot darker. Got to Choose, Parasite, Going Blind, Harder Than Hell, Let Me Go Rock and Roll, All the Way, Watching You, Mainline, Coming Home, Strange Ways. Songs like Watching You, All the Way, Strange Ways, Going Blind, those are really like dark, doomy sounding songs. This is a great record. This is in fairly good shape still. Also, another Casablanca inner with that. And there's our label right there, still on the Casablanca, that classic old school. It's the brown one. I know there's differences, but I'm not that, not that big on labels. I mean, I like the looks of cool labels, on the records, so, All right, then 1975 rolls around. Kiss puts out their third album. This is Dressed to Kill. This one's a little poppier than Hotter Than Hell is, a little poppier than the debut album is. This one's got Room Service, Two Timer, Ladies in Waiting, Getaway, Come On and Love Me, Anything for My Baby, Love Her All I Can. Those are all real poppy. This also gives us Rock and Roll Night. There's the back, which is a negative of the front cover. I really, really dig this album. It's embossed, these Kiss logos on the outside. I know you can't really see them, but there is like Kiss logos right there, but they're the same color. You can feel that up. I really dig this album. Out of the first three, sometimes this is one of my favorites. All three of those records to me are just classic records. I love them a lot. Another Casablanca inner sleeve. Like I said, whether that's what came with them or not, I'm not sure. I don't really remember. And same label on the inside. Surprisingly, as long as I've had these records, they all still play very well. I've had all of these since I was a teenager, so we're going on, I'm 56 now, so I've had these like 40 years. I did not take care of my records back in the day to an extent. I mean, I took care of my records, but it's not like I was changing my stylus all the time or whatever. So, and the reason I'll show you whether they have pinholes in them and stuff because I hung them on the wall, and they weren't in plastic sleeves, it was the 80s. So what are you going to do, right? All right, so then 1975, the album that breaks Kiss is this one right here, Alive. Double live album. There's your inner sleeve. It's got a picture of the first three albums, little notes from the band. There's the famous back cover, the Kids with the Kiss banner. This is recorded in Cobo Hall in Detroit, and it basically is a greatest hits live album of the first three albums. This album comes out, and this kind of explodes Kiss. This album sells really, really well and goes platinum, and then people go back and buy the first three records because hearing this and hearing Kiss live, the idea of this, and I know we know now, and maybe back then, this isn't live, purely live. I mean, it's recorded live, but then it's overdubbed. They went in the studio. They fixed a lot of sound. They make it sound live. This is one of the greatest live albums of all time, though. It really is. It's in the, top 10 of Rolling Stone. When they talk about live albums, sorry, let me clear my throat out. Sometimes that Jaeger gets a little thick. So this sells millions of copies, and this explodes Kiss. People go back, buy the first three records so they can hear the studio versions of all these songs. All those albums go platinum, and Kiss becomes one of the biggest bands in the world. More Casablanca sheets. I love these ones here with the movies. This one's for the deep. And label once again, still the same Casablanca label. Alive is a great record. It really is. It's one of the best live albums of all time, in my opinion. So after that happens, and people go back and buy the other records, what Casablanca decides to do is put out like a compilation type record. They call it The Originals, and this is the first three albums repackaged in this thing. It's called The Originals, and it's got the first three studio albums in there. It opens up, and inside is kind of a cool little booklet. There's the front. There's the back. Inside is like story of Kiss, multiple pages, stories, pictures of concerts, pictures of the band doing different things. They had broke big, so that. And then each one is in their own like paper sleeve that looks just like the front cover, just like the back cover. And then the records themselves say the originals on there. See if I can get that to come in. See, it says the originals instead of the name of the album on there. So I got this. I actually got it from my little brother back when I was 17 or 18 years old. This was super hard to find. This was really hard to find, especially back in the day before the internet. This album was really hard to find this. And you can see it's all ringed out. I don't remember where he got it. He happened to find it. And then, you know, I was like 16. He was like 12, and I conned him out of it. So I still have it. And he still hasn't let me live it down that I conned a 12-year-old out of that Kiss record. So, okay. So after the originals and the success of Alive and everything else, Kiss comes out with their best-selling album by far. This is a copy of Destroyer, 1976. This sold millions of copies. This is the one that's got Beth and Detroit Rock City. See, it starts off with Detroit City, King of the Nighttime World, God of Thunder, Great Expectations, Side 2, Flamin' Youth, Sweet Pain, Shout It Out Loud, Beth, and Do You Love Me? This has got like a choir singing with it. They're using violins. This is definitely a step away from what Kiss sounded like when they first started. There's the back of that. So I have that. There's the inner sleeve. We're introduced to the Kiss Army. There's the Casablanca label once again. And that one is the copy I've had since I was a teenager. Now, this copy of Destroyer that I have is one that I found in the dumpster. And my famous dumpster find. This one is in way better shape than the one I have. Not that mine plays bad, but the cover's in better shape. Doesn't have the pinhole like my other one did. The inner sleeve is in better shape. It's not all beat to shit. And the record labels are the same. I looked this up. They're actually the same pressing. When I got this other one, I can't remember which pressing it is, whether it's a Santa Maria or whatever. It's all the same pressing. So I have two copies of that. One that I've had since I was a teenager, the one that I found 3 years ago in the dumpster. I'm not getting rid of either one of them. It's a cool little story to have. All right, next, Rock and Roll Over is also from 1976. So far, the band has been around for 2 years. This is their 5th studio album. They've had a live album. They've had a compilation album put out. This is how busy bands were back in the 70s. Rock and Roll Over, I just showed this last week. This is a perfect album. This has a great track listing: Seeing Your Dreams, Love 'Em and Leave 'Em, Hard Luck Woman, Making Love, Take Me, I Want You, Calling Dr. Love, Baby Driver, Ladies Room, and Mr. Speed. All these are great songs. This is a great hard rock album. Like I said, I just discussed it with you guys last week. I won't go into too much more detail with Rock and Roll Over. There's the inner sleeve with that, which I know I did not show, but that is, there you go, Casablanca, once again, the cool desert scene. All right, next up, 1977, my favorite Kiss album of the first, the Mark I era of Kiss is this album right here. I love this album, and the reason Love Gun is my favorite album, this is why I was introduced to Kiss. I was 12 or 13 years old. I met a kid, we were in junior high, and he had some Kiss records. His dad was a fan, and he played this, and this is the first time I ever heard this band. I was totally shunned, or however you want to call it. I was just a kid. My parents, I went to private school when I was in grade school. I wasn't exposed to modern pop music or modern popular music or whatever. I wasn't exposed to Kiss. I had never heard them. I heard this record. I fell in love with this band. I fell in love with the imagery. And I was 12 years old. So without guys right, Kiss is music for 12-year-olds. This has Love Gun. There's your track listing right there. Love Gun, Got Love for Sale, Tomorrow Tonight, Christine 16, Almost Human, Plastercaster, Shock Me, Then She Kissed Me, I Stole Your Love, and Hooligan. Right here, Shock Me. That's the first time we hear Ace Frehley sing. Almost Human, Killer Killer Song. Plaster Caster, song about a groupie who likes to make castings of rock stars' dicks. You know, just a great record all the way through and through. Plus, the cover's awesome. Hot girls, cool painting. They look like fucking gods. And then the label changes. There's a picture right there. See right there where it says Mike? That's Mike. That was my friend back in junior high. He introduced me to Kiss. This was his. How I ended up with it, I'm not sure how I got his copy. I do not have the inner sleeve of that. The inner sleeve I remember was kind of on this green thing. My inner sleeve of this, look, it's an old Record Bar sleeve. You guys remember Record Bar? How old are you? Do you remember Record Bar? The sleeve was like a green and it had Kiss written in like blood on it. And I took that and hung that on my wall. And that shit's been long gone for a long, long time. And I have not found another one to replace it like I have in some of the other ones. All right, so there, 6 studio albums in 3 years. Band's getting burned out. They need a break, so they're going to release another live album. They're also working on their solo albums at this point in time. They've decided to go solo, do solo albums and take a break to keep the people happy or whatever. They put out Kiss Alive 2. This is a great record also. There's your back cover. This is basically the greatest hits of the last 3 albums, the last 3 studios of Destroyer, Rock and Roll Over, and Love Gun. There's no songs from the first 3 albums on this. They didn't want to repeat Alive, so they did Alive 2. Pictures are cool. Gene looking all badass. Paul looking like a rock star. Peter, I don't know, looking like he's stoned out of his mind. So is Ace. But the cool thing about this record is one of the coolest concert pictures of all time. Right there. There it is. Look at that stage set. Man, that's killer stuff. Used to have this. If you look right here, there's Pinhole right there. There's one over there. Had this shit hanging on the wall like a poster. And this has inner sleeve with a picture of that, with the picture of all 6 albums on it. This also came with a cool little book called The Evolution of Kiss, and it's got pictures of them from the stage and pictures of them throughout the years, see, showing how they changed. It came with this cool little sheet of temporary tattoos, and we're back to the basic brown Kiss Casablanca logo on there. So that's Alive 2. Though after that, because the studio albums, or the solo albums still had not come out yet, they put out another compilation album, and it is called Double Platinum. This comes out in 1978. Solo albums come out the same year. This comes out, it's all shiny. This one's a Japanese press. This is one I found in the dumpster that day. This has this right here with the track listing on there. That was a sticker. You can kind of see the lines right here that apparently Mike had stuck on there. It came loose. I'd never seen it before until I got this. It also has the platinum record on the inside. That got it kind of a little screwed up. It didn't look like that when I first got it. But then I put it in, and when I pulled it out, all of a sudden it had lost it. So, and there's the label right there on that. This is a Japanese pressing. I also have my same copy from the one that I've had since I was in high school. Same thing. There's the inside of that. Now there is a slight difference here between the Japanese press and the American press. Well, let's see if we can tell the difference here. Basically, they kind of look the same. All right, so I'm right back. What you're going to see is I had to cut out because what happened is I accidentally hit the mute. So back to Double Platinum. Here's the Japanese one. And like I said, there were some differences here. Number one that I forgot to show with the Japanese is it also has this on here. I'm going to try to edit this the best I can, but I'm not really an editor, but I'm going to give it a shot. So hopefully it doesn't cut too bad. So here's your Japanese insert that came with the Japanese album. Okay, and depending on when I edited, I'm going to re-show this. Okay, so there is a difference between the two. I don't know. Here's the my American version that I've had since I was a teenager, once again. So the difference is, let's see here. The labels are different, number one. And so here's the American label, and see how that's silver. And then this is the Japanese one, and it's more white. Also, if you look right there, let me turn that over. It says side 1 and side 2, and then record 2 says side 1 and side 2, but the American ones say side 3 and side 4 on them. So slight difference in color, slight difference in well, quality, obviously. The one I found in the dumpster is in way better shape than the one that I found that I've had since I was a teenager, obviously. You know, all those ones I found in the dumpster were like perfect. All right, I just killed this little bottle of Jägermeister right here. Take this little tiny shot here. So anyway, those are the Kiss albums, what I call Kiss version 1, Kiss Mark 1, or whatever. From 1974 to 1978, we got 6 studio albums, 2 compilations, 2 live albums. And then in 78, they do their solo albums. They come back in 79 or 80, they do Dynasty and Unmasked. And by then, Peter's pretty much checked out. The band kind of changes their style a little bit. By the time Unmasked rolls around, basically Peter's not even really in the band. Most of the drumming on that is other people. I think he sings one song on that record, and then he's out. And then they do The Elder, and they do Creatures of the Night, which both still have makeup, and they take the makeup off in 83 or 84. And that's, to me, it's all a different version of the band. Once Dynasty, which is a great record, and Unmasked, which is a great record, come out, things change a little bit. So, you know, I thought I'd just talk about that, you know. Kiss, the hottest band in the world. I put, you know, and I'm sorry, you know, you guys can hate on it. Some people hate on Kiss, some people don't. You just don't get it. Once you're a Kiss fan, and you, especially when you become a Kiss fan young, that shit never leaves. And we've heard it all before. Kiss sucks. Kiss is music for teeny boppers. Their music is terrible. They're not good musicians. They're good at selling stuff and selling images. Maybe so, but I think they wrote some great rock and roll songs. And I just wanted to share that more out of spite than anything else. So thank you guys for putting up with me. I really, really appreciate it. I'll talk to you all in a week or so. All right, have a good one, guys. Happy weekend. I'd say cheers, but I just finished my Jaeger, so, you know, Jägermeister energy drink. What more can you ask for, right? All right, guys, keep it up. Have a good day out there. We'll talk to you all later.